The best business school is being in f***ing business. Ruthless truths to win at anything, and notes to my younger, much poorer self. When you move from being a worker to a leader, everything changes. If you want to be the boss, first, be the best employee. Most people forget this latter one. Ruthless truth. You don't need to do an AI startup, a Silicon Valley-backed company, a VC-funded company in order to win. Boring businesses do not equal boring lives. Let me tell you this. A business that cash flows, lets you be with your family, is simple, has great customers, gives you a happy life. That is actually a real unicorn. CEO definition, salesperson. Never let anybody talk you out of this truth. Running a company is simply prioritizing problems continuously, nonstop, except your ability to handle and withstand the pain from the problems becomes increased because you get used to small ones. When I started out in business, I would have problems that would be like, I didn't close this big customer that I wanted to close. I'm really upset about it. I didn't hit my sales numbers. This person left the company today. Man, this product launch didn't go as good as I wanted it to. Those seemed like big, overarching, can barely breathe because they're so in my face problems. Then as you scale up, you start to realize I'm getting sued. Okay, again, so what? Somebody stole money. Not that big of a deal. We'll figure it out. This entire business isn't working. We need to bring in a CEO. Okay, we can do that. There's no difference really between Codie that was upset about hitting a sales goal and Codie today that doesn't even blink an eye if an entire business is failing, except that I'm so used to it, I've accumulated this pain tolerance that means that those big, scary things don't seem that big anymore. And it goes back to what the Stoics say, which is don't ask for an easier life, ask for the resiliency to be able to handle a difficult one. In order to do what you love, expect many years of doing the things that you hate. Number one issue for people on the internet today is this.
I literally get off, it's pitch black, like I don't have energy. I don't have time for anything, and I'm like so stressed out.
We got chicks on the internet crying every 5 seconds for having to go to a job because it sucks. Here's the truth. It does suck. Your first job is going to feel like a pencil boring into your eyeball, and you're going to sit there and wait for the clock to tick all the way to zero while you're making minimum wage or barely just above it and wondering why you don't have enough money to buy those fancy Whole Foods groceries or that bottle of wine that you want at the end of the day to forget the fucking day you just had.
2 shots.
The thing is, though, it doesn't stay like that. Your first couple jobs suck. That's the truth. But after a certain period of time, it gets fun. And you get to start figuring out what you're good at, what you like to do, and what the market will pay. And when you connect those 3 things, likes, good at, what the market will pay for, is when you get to architect your life, and then somebody else who works for you can slowly bore out their eye with the pencil. It's just part of the game. Words mean things. When you say you will do a thing, actually do the thing. 90% of people will not even do this, and this includes promises to yourself. Instead of saying, that won't work, change it to, how could that work? So small, so impactful. The world is run by failed employees. Behind every successful entrepreneur is an insufferable boss. Do you want to set yourself up for success? Start on Sundays. Most people complain about early Mondays. You're already going to beat them. Warren Buffett doesn't optimize.
Ready to work.
Wake up at 5 a.m., meditate, work out, drink 72 ounces of chloride water, and stand upside down. Or find something you enjoy doing and get to work on it every single day for as long as humanly possible. There's no substitute for just putting in the fucking hours. You have anxiety because deep down you know you could be doing better. These pissed the entire internet off, so I thought I'd tell you to them. Picasso said all great art is imitation, so let's steal homework from a multi-billion-dollar business, huh? You need more customers to buy your thing, or more attention, but the question is how? Where do you get the info that's data-backed to act on, not just some dude behind a computer who reads a Reddit thread once? So I stole from HubSpot. Sorry, not sorry. How the heck to market, aka sell more stuff in 2024, and this thing is gold. Like the best social platform to use based on ROI or how much money it's going to make you, which marketing trends actually work, how top companies are using AI and chatbots, and a ton more. My favorite section is HubSpot breaking down how to launch an email campaign. Email is where the real money is made. No cap. Is that what the kids say these days? Every point is backed by data from 1,400 global B2B and B2C marketers. Now, just because I love you, you can steal from me too and download the report linked below. Thanks HubSpot for sponsoring this video and giving me all your secrets. Life hack number 1, you never actually have to check out of a hotel room. Just walk out the door. They already got your credit card. They don't clean and go rush to your room the second that you leave. They do it on a schedule per floor, so everybody take it easy. The internet is full of humans who get triggered off of something as dumb as somebody leaving a hotel room without checking out. But guess what? If you want to be successful, every single one of those seconds counts. So what do you want to do? You want to be liked by nameless faces on the internet, or do you want to win? And if you want to win, you got to do things that other people won't like. Tweet number 2 that people hated immensely: save a friendship, get an Uber from the airport. Internet hated this one. In fact, there were articles about how much they hated this one. Here's my point. Don't hate on your friends if they're busy in build mode and can't come to the airport and pick you up. Don't be a low-level loser who needs another person to do a job that somebody else could get paid for and is trying to build something bigger. And I think this is what's wrong with the internet in a lot of places. It's like, well, you should do that because you're friends. I take that word should and I throw it out the window. You know what I'd rather should with my friends? I'd rather take my friends to an incredible vacation that they've never been able to go on before because I've worked so hard that I can provide a life experience unlike any other. I'd rather build a business that employs a bunch of people who get to live out their dreams because I skipped a few fucking airport rides. And guess what? This isn't that popular to say, but if you want to be one of the big and not one of the many, you got to make some sacrifices. And apparently, airport pickups, major trigger point. The most telling sign of your intelligence: the ability to speak for the least time, yet command the most attention. What if your intellect is measured by how much truth you can tolerate? Can you be told you're wrong, the dress makes you look fat, you're getting older, he's smarter than you, and take them all in stride? Fast hacks to never fail in business: start as a side project, keep your job, use your salary to fund it, don't use debt, quit, and go all in only when you have enough money to cash flow. Rocket science, I know, except nobody does it. Most people cherry pick information to build up their own preferred version of the world. They'd rather trade growth for comfort. Don't be most people. Reading is just a diet. Be careful what information you consume. It becomes the way you think. Words are heard, internalized, repeated, and habituated. So curate what you let into your brain as you do your body. Scrolling on social media is the equivalent of wolfing down fries every day. Ruthless truth. Short form video is destroying your focus. It's destroying all of our focus. A sad byproduct: only 28% of Americans read a book last year. If you guys say that you aren't a reader, you're not going to be an earner. Pick up a fucking book. Read it from beginning to end. If it's a good one, read it again, and then take action based on what's inside of it. Don't call yourself not a reader. Anybody who calls themselves not a reader means you're going to be a wage earner, not an owner. The only way to change that is to have an attention span that goes longer for the 8.25 seconds, which is the average attention span of a human youth in America today. Get focused. Decrease your ability to be distracted, and you become a force. Maybe the most important: be the type of person who reaches out to other people when you don't need something. In fact, I was just talking to a good friend of mine who is huge. His business makes $130 million a year. This guy told me that he helped somebody launch a product of his, another name you'd know on the internet, and did it out of the kindness of his heart, and ended up selling more for this guy than anyone else did. Then he went and asked a favor of this guy 6 months later. The guy left him on unread. Do you think that he'll remember that? The truth is yes. So just be a good fucking human, because it makes life easier, and also it's just better for all of us. If you want to get rich, master negotiation, a salary raise, an investment, business deals. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is you actually know how to ask for the thing that you want. Underrated skill: learn to suffer in silence. 99% of your problems will never happen. The other 5% you can't control anyway. You need 2 things to win: find friends who are willing to say that you're wrong, and realizing that no is a full fucking sentence. The bigger you get, the more people are going to troll you, and the more you are going to want to troll back. Here's the truth. Every time you do that, it's a low-level activity. It basically shows that you're not willing to get big. The only way you're going to get big is by pulling somebody else down. You can do it in the short term and win, but long term, I can pretty much guarantee you it's going to make you look worse. It's going to make you feel worse. It's going to make people think less about you over time. I think we've seen this again and again with the people who have fake beefs on the internet. It might make them a buck or two, but what did it do in the long term?
He's decided to make this fight completely about my fiance and plastering her on his social media.
It's not pretty.
They really got to do that to rep a fight? Do we have to hate on somebody in order to grow big? And I think the answer is no. It's just a lot harder to do it without a bunch of hate. So every time that you can, be the person building the bridge, not the fucking troll throwing rocks from underneath. Don't give first row opinions to those with nosebleed seats. You will never look back and wish that you had made more nameless, faceless humans on the internet like you. Choose your f***s carefully. People don't care what you're doing unless you answer their real question. What's in it for me? Fear makes fools of us all. Never make a decision from fear. You gotta reframe who you're obsessed with. The best don't obsess on those just one step ahead of them. They use them for advice. Instead, obsess on those 10 years ahead and start focusing on shortening the distance. What's one thing you can do to shorten the gap right now? Take action. You're the 1%. The richest people I know, they never conform. They let ideas fight based on merit, not emotion. And they find the courage to act in unconformity. That allows them to find opportunities to unlock the outsized returns others never see or are likely too scared to even act on. The smart have strong opinions weakly held. Having a strong opinion is the mark of critical thinking, but the ability to change it is the mark of intelligence. Only politicians hold one stance forever and worry about changing their mind when more inputs come in. We mortals do better by constantly experimenting, and when the experiment changes, so should your mind. Young entrepreneurial Codie, 4 things you need to do. Find God, go on more walks, get to the gym. Most importantly, raise your prices. They're probably too low right now. Can I tell you guys an embarrassing one? Try listening to a little Christian rap or rock music. You can have this one.
I'm about to have a good day.
There's something incredible that happens when you listen to positivity as opposed to all the negativity happening in the news right now. Dear sweet Jesus, look at the name of some of the top songs out there right now.
You the shit, bitch. You not even the fuck.
Is that gonna make you go work harder? Only losers can't take a joke. We take ourselves way too seriously. He who has the deepest laugh lines wins. Self-care isn't a bubble bath. It's actually multiple income streams. One is enjoyed, and one you have to work for. Most successful people operate with this mindset. Entitled to nothing, willing to earn everything. Why is it worth taking big, huge, calculated swings and risks on yourself? The worst thing that you could do is end up at the end of your life looking back on all the things you said you were gonna do. Nothing you do will matter to anyone in 2 years. Even less in 20, and your name will be forgotten in 100. There's freedom and a little bit of nihilism. This one's important. Subscribe. What you feed your brain, even more important than what you put into your mouth. How's my wig?